Hello, this is Jordan. This video is being recorded on the late evening of Sunday, March 17th, 2024. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, it's St. Patrick's Day. I already mentioned that in my last video, but I forgot to wear my green shirt and my green tie, so I apologize. But let's get to more important stuff, and that is when silver is going to outperform gold. So in this video, I'm going to go through a bit of history and also look at a current chart of silver. Maybe the history can tell us when silver might outperform. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Now, let's get into the video. Okay, so in this chart, we're looking at the 1970s. These are weekly bar charts, gold at the top, silver at the bottom, and then this is silver divided by gold. These lines show the gold breakouts, and then the other line, again, I'm colorblind. I don't know what color that is. Maybe it's gray or charcoal, whatever. Show the silver breakouts. Now, this first breakout, this was a breakout past the high in 1968 for gold and 1968 for silver. So, you know, kind of obviously not a real market at that point, but you still have some historical data. And so we can see that once silver got above that level, it was somewhere in the 40s, I think, maybe 50. Once it got above that level, it really started to take, it had a big move here, consolidated for a few months, and then boom, really took off. Now silver, it took silver as much as 17 months to maybe 14, 15 months to rally back to that high from 68. And then it broke out, little retest, and boom, huge move higher. So for most of this cyclical bull, silver actually underperformed gold, as you can see here, as the silver-gold ratio declined. Now, big reason for that, obviously, the price of gold was artificially low because we were on the gold standard. And I say this in other videos, but if gold were allowed to trade, if we weren't on a gold standard in the 1950s and 60s, the gold price would have already been moving up by the late 1960s. So this is a bit artificial. This one here, this was only 5 months. So you had the 45% decline in gold here. Silver peaked before gold. We could see the peak here, then gold peak here. But silver had more of a bullish consolidation. It sold off, kind of went sideways. It's actually kind of similar to now in that you have this resistance. You kind of have two levels of resistance. You have resistance here and then resistance there. So a little bit similar to now. But nevertheless, gold breaks out here, and silver breaks out 5 months later, and then silver actually begins to outperform gold in between. So thin market, not a lot that we can take from that. Let's talk about the 2000s. I spent too much time on the 70s. Looking at the 2000s, so again, the blue line is the gold breakout move, the beginning of it, and the other line is the beginning of the silver breakout move. And this is very interesting. For every gold breakout, these 6 or 7 major breakouts, there was a corresponding silver breakout. It's funny how markets work. So you can see the annotations here. I don't need to read or go through every one of these for you. 11 months, 3 months, 2 months, 12 months, 12 months. And then here you're looking at silver divided by gold, and we can see silver begins to outperform gold. Here it was a couple months before silver broke out. Here, this one was a little different, but you could say it was here or here before silver broke out. 2007, that was pretty close together. This one, silver started to outperform before it broke out, I should say. After the late 2002 breakout in gold, took silver a little bit of a while to get going. But basically, what this historical study tells us is that first you have the gold breakout, and then after a period of months, it can be a couple months, then you get silver breaking out. And it makes sense. When does silver begin to really outperform gold? Well, it's going to be around that breakout. Either right before silver makes its breakout or right as silver is making that breakout move. So, with that history, let's see how that applies to today. Now, fortunately, there's a clear breakout level for silver. Well, there's actually two levels, so not fortunately. This is a weekly line chart, by the way. If you look at a weekly line chart, or just you're using weekly closing prices or even monthly closing prices, 26 and 28. I mean, they both are the resistance. 26.00 basically. You're looking at this weekly chart. I think this is like 28.13 or something like that. So it's close enough. You get a convincing weekly close above 26. That's a breakout. Convincing weekly or monthly close above 28. That's a breakout. So there's two levels. You'll call it 26 to 28. It leads me to think that the question is, how much time is silver going to spend between 26 and 28? And this will not obviously, but it could depend a lot on gold. Because if gold's making this great move, but if it slows down for a number of months, at some point, be it if it's 23.50 or 25, maybe at the same time, silver could slow down, but it could break 26 and consolidate here for a little while before it's able to break 28. Or gold could have just such a strong move that silver will not spend that much time between 26 and 20. It'll break 26, and maybe in a month or two, it'll just clear 28, and that'll be it. And then it'll be on to 33, 34, the next resistance. I know that's a lot of babbling, but here are the cliff notes for this video. First, gold breaks out. Then after a period of months, you get the silver breakout. And usually silver will begin to strongly outperform gold when it's beginning its breakout move or after it makes its breakout move. So what that tells us is, looking at 26 to 28, silver will begin to strongly outperform gold as it's breaking 26, or if that's not the case, then it will be as it's breaking 28. So if silver spends a lot of time between 26 to 28, I'd say when it breaks 28, that's when silver will really start to outperform gold. There you have it. But if silver is not going to spend that much time between 26 and 28, and it'll just clear 28 pretty soon after it clears 26, then I would say when silver clears 26, that would be the time it begins to strongly outperform gold. So I know we're getting into the weeds, but hopefully you can just take those two main ideas away. And that's all for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Talk to you guys again in the next video.